days, I wonder what would change. I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Time's gone by, I've traded blackbird into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from
Hello.
what I have today.
This is, you know it, 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over. What's going on One Street Over from where you living? We are living right because we are getting to work and live in Robertson County, y'all. So that is the best thing ever. I think I pushed all the right buttons. Anyway, hi, Kaleb Stratton. He is in the house, and we're just talking about, what was it? I don't know who put this. We're going to get that out of the way. There was a bunch of birds. I came up the hill, and if you're over here on WDBL Road, you'll see what we're talking about. And I mean, just a gaggle of birds there. And I was like, are those vultures? What are those? And I thought they were turkeys, but I wasn't sure. And you clarified it for me.
Yep, they were. I thought the same thing when I first saw it. I thought it was some vultures, but no, those were all turkeys. They were just wet and nasty looking from all the
little
rain.
Babies, you said.
Yeah, it looked like that was actually two groups, I believe. It looked like two hens and then a bunch of probably 15 or 20 babies. So that's really good to see. And we've seen a lot of poults this year. This has been one of the better years we've seen for our poults, which are baby turkeys. And I think that's due to the amount of rain we didn't have in the early spring.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, a lot of these turkeys, they'll put their nest in ditches and drainage ditches and stuff because they're grown up and they're easy to hide. And they put them in a lot of farmers' fields too, just in the middle of a hayfield.
Yeah.
But with the lack of rain, the farmers didn't cut hay near as early. Some didn't. So that helped them. And then the rain, they didn't get flooded out. So we had a really good hatch this year.
Okay. Well, that was evidence of it. Because, I mean, there was a bunch.
20 or so out there.
Yeah. And I was just, they're really the oddest looking things. I just didn't have time to stop and, gaze at them at all. But
they're trying to dry out, sitting in the road to dry out.
Yeah, because they were soaked. But, and I'll tell you, we're a week from school. Teachers go back a week from today. I know, now my husband's part of your team that drives your kids to school too. He also drives a bus in the morning before he goes and teaches your kids. And so he is at Coopertown. They're getting acclimated with the bus drivers today. For the next few days, the bus drivers are coming in for their professional development. And then teachers will be in professional development a week from today. Kids are back a week from tomorrow for, I think, a half day. Then we have full day Wednesday. Then we're out Thursday for the election.
Oh, so I heard they were out Thursday. I'm like, why are they out on Thursday?
It's primary.
Yeah.
We'll finally get rid of all these gubernatorial ads.
Yeah.
I know they're driving everybody nuts. Bill Jones is actually, Jessica couldn't come in. We moved Kaleb because he was vacationing last week.
Yep.
And so we moved him to this week. Jessica wasn't able to do either week, and it's just busy in the summer. It's just
I think
hard.
they're on vacation this week. So
yeah, that's it. And she couldn't make it last week either. We were trying to jumble it around, and we'll catch up with her next visit. But so I've got Bill Jones coming in, and I told him, I said, you can talk about whatever you want. So it's Bill Jones's choice. And so it's Bill's choice today. We have no idea what he's going to bring into the show, but it's going to be fun. But we've also got Tiffany Thompson coming in this week to talk all about the senior center and all the going on Medicare, Medicaid, whatever it is, whenever you get to my age. I have a lot of questions. I was like, Ken, come in and do the show because I have a lot of people that have a lot of questions. So he's coming in this week. It's just going to be jam-packed full of stuff. But kids excited about getting back to school?
I think so. The youngest, he doesn't care either way. He doesn't know, but I know he will because he likes his friends, and my oldest loves his friends. That's all he cares about, being with his friends. So
yeah. So how old are your kids?
10 and 4.
You need to get some inner tubes and go down. We have cleared the brush out, and we spent the afternoon with 3 of my grandkids and 3 of their friends. First, we went to the theater yesterday. I love Capitol Theater. Twice now. My son.
Did you watch the Goonies or whatever was there?
Well, no, we've had birthday weekend.
Oh.
We were celebrating 2 birthdays this weekend because I've got 2 grandsons in July, and so we were doing a lot of birthday stuff this weekend. I mean, we had stuff every day, but Sunday. We went to church up at Springfield Baptist and heard David Evans because we had to stay here because we had so much going on during the day. So I visited up, and what a great congregation. That was fun. So we went because they have an early service at 9. So we started there, and then we the kids came and we went to the movies again. But that's the second time he's brought his family from Mount Juliet to go to the movies here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just cool. Have you been yet?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we went and saw Toy Story 5, me and my oldest. So
we were in Mexico. We didn't get to go to that one, but that's the only one I haven't. I would have loved to have seen the Goonies, but we were.
I saw that. I think it was a one-time showing thing. Well, I think they can do some stuff outside of their legal obligations with what they have on contract.
Well, and they did Back to the Future late one night.
Oh, really?
Like 9:45. Yeah. I would have loved that one, but that's a little bit late for this old woman. But no, I love the theater. We had a good time. But then what I was going to tell you, we cleared out the brush right there in front of the house. And so we had a little lazy river float.
Oh, really?
And so we got inner tubes out, and we would go in right there where it's kind of rough, and then float all the way down to where you just, I don't know, just right in front of the house. Yeah. It's just a wonderful little lazy river. Yeah. And we did that all afternoon. Well, we had the best time. Your boys would love that. Y'all bring them out and do it. So, but anyway, all right, bud. You were telling me about your
time.
Yeah, I know. You said something about your schedule. What's up with your schedule?
So I'm still doing the same things, but it wasn't a promotion, but I put in for another job.
Oh.
So with our agency still. So I'm still a sergeant, but I'm now a statewide sergeant. So I'm over the whole state. I'm in our Office of Professional Standards and Training now.
Okay.
So I'm still going to be when I got this new job, new title really, not even a new job, but he's like, man, you still got to get out and work, and I'm like, I get it, but they really want me to still be out and work in the field as much as I can, but I'm pretty much just over statewide training now.
Fun.
And over our
congratulations.
Our post. So the post. So Tennessee is, for police officer, we're post certified. So peace officer standards and training. And so I'll be the liaison between post and TWRA to make sure that we're keeping up with all of our records and we're doing everything that meets or exceeds their standards, because all law enforcement every year has to do a certain amount of training to stay certified.
Right.
So we're gonna. That's my new job now. So.
Well, good for you.
But still, like I said, still getting out working. I'm still living here, still here every day.
Yeah,
so
for sure. And then we have Jason's. It's our
Jason's still here. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. And we got like 6 officers that live in the county.
Okay, but they serve in other areas.
They do, yeah. Okay. Well, and they all help here too. Anytime that's what we're all great about, helping each other. If something's going on, or if Jason's been off the last couple of weeks doing some stuff, and so when a CAD call comes up, which is a call we get from our dispatch, and people jump in and help, and that's kind of where the agency is moving, just as we're going, because again, we don't have schedules. Yeah. So we try to work at peak hours when the public is going to be out. So that's a lot of weekends, a lot of nights.
You bet.
A lot of early mornings. So kind of during the day, we may not be working during the day much. We may get out at early in the morning, just after daylight or before daylight, and work for a few hours and take most of the day off and get back out in the evening, because that's when people are mainly out doing the activities for within our natural resources. So,
well, we get it, and that's expected,
But we have guys that work in the middle of the day too. So those are guys that really help us out, answer calls that may come out while we're off for doing something during the day or whatever. So we're all just try to be a big family and help each other when we can.
Well, congratulations on the promotion. That's really cool.
It's a lateral promotion, but still it's a promotion because I don't have to work. I'm not required to work weekends anymore. So
good for you. Well, so and with your family and stuff, that's nice. That's good.
I'm happy. I'm
sure
I'm super happy about that. I've worked weekends my whole long for over 15 years, so almost every weekend. So
it's
this past weekend we got home from Florida Friday. And then I was able to take off Saturday and Sunday. I didn't know what to do with myself,
I bet.
I felt kind of bad because I was like, man, I know those guys are sweating their butts off on the lake right now.
Yeah. Well, how has the lake activity been? I know I've heard of a few things that have happened. I heard some young people, a young girl fell off and I don't know, and that's the one thing I saw. It was, and I was thinking it was local, but I mean, have we had just any real serious boating accidents, or we've kind of gotten through the boating season without anything terrible happening?
We've had, we actually had a fatal this week, on Tim's Ford, Tim's Ford Lake down in the south part of Tennessee.
Yeah.
My captain was he was one of the first ones there. And that's not even our area. He was down there with his son fishing. They were they were just off, and he was one of the first ones there that helped get the guy and try to do stuff. But yeah, there was a fatal this weekend. But other than that, it's been, knock on wood, it's been busy, but it hasn't been busy. The number of boating under the influence cases are pretty high for here, given the amount of traffic we've had. We've made quite a few boating under the influence cases, and I know not most. They were all great cases. Most of them, the blood has already come back on most of them, and these individuals have been intoxicated. Way above the legal limit than they're supposed to be. So, but I don't know if it's just because of marina fuel is extremely expensive. Yeah. So fuel at our gas station is what I don't even know what it is, $3.40-ish maybe. I think I saw it last night maybe.
About $3.50, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere in there. It's
so high. You can add $2 to $3 to that.
Wow.
And so that's what your marina fuel is costing. Marina fuel is anywhere from $5.50 to $6 a gallon.
Yeah.
At a marina, and that's because of all the environmental taxes on a lot of stuff, and they kind of inflated, I guess, too. But so I think that kept a lot of people off the water earlier this year because it's expensive. I mean, most boats are only getting about 2.5 miles a gallon.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so you run through $100-$200 in boat fuel
quickly
in a few hours. So yeah, so if you're running a boat, so a lot of people weren't getting out because of that. I think it was unseasonably cool in June too. Like it was just cool. Like the water temperature never got up above 70 really for a while. It wasn't until really after July 4th that it really started getting hot. And then people started getting out a little bit. But it's been, like I said, in the rain. We've had a lot of rain almost every weekend. Yesterday it rained a bunch, and it rained a bunch Saturday, I know. So anyway, for the amount of traffic we've had, which has been low, our stats have been higher this year for some reason.
Interesting. Well, hadn't there been a push to really deal with the driving under the influence on the water?
Yeah. So
I've seen some news stories on that. Like that there seems to have been a push to deal with it a little bit differently. Maybe more aggressively, maybe.
Well, they're trying to mimic it to be like the DUI laws. So if you're driving a vehicle, driving a boat, like they're going to be the same. They're the same as far as the punishment goes now.
Right.
So, and they used to be totally separate things. So if you've been pulled over 5 times for driving drunk in a car on a road, and you get pulled over for driving a boat drunk, then that's your BUI first offense. But now it would be your 6th offense, BUI, even though you've only been pulled over for it once.
Okay.
They go together now.
Okay.
So yeah, it can be a lot harsher penalties now. But it's the punishment if you get arrested for a DUI first or a BUI first, they're all the same now.
Okay. Maybe that's what I saw, because I had read something about it, and I just didn't have it clarified, exactly what they were doing. And
it's, I read the comments on Facebook. I shouldn't sometimes, but I don't take it personal, and I think most of them are funny because you know how people get on Facebook and they have no idea what they're talking about, and they just literally have no idea what they're talking about. And, they're getting on there and just like, what, I thought that's what the lake and driving a boat is for, to drink. And that may be to you, but when you kill somebody's family, and we have these people that come in and talk to us who have been through this, who have lost their sons, daughters, family. Like this one lady lost her whole family. She's the only one that she wasn't on the boat when her whole family died because of a drunk driver. And, they come in and talk to us, and it really pulls at your heartstrings, but it shows you that that's really what we're there for. You may not think you having 1 or 2 alcoholic beverages on a boat is going to hurt anything, but when it impairs your judgment enough, when you kill a whole family and you're responsible for that, that'll change your mind. So the Facebook warriors that are out there giving us a hard time about it, it is what it is. But
what happened? I mean, what kind of a wreck happens on the water that takes out an entire family?
You just 2 boats colliding. When boats collide, it's not like 2 vehicles colliding. So, and you can even see, like, when two boats hit sometimes, boats are pretty tough. You'll look at two boats and be like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And you're like, no, 3 people died in this crash. And you're like, really? Because there's no seat belts, so.
And it throws them out of the water.
Throws them. Yeah. You hit your head on everything in the boat. I mean, you got windshield, steel, glass, frames, metal frames. Everything's hard on a boat. There's nothing soft on a boat at all other than the seat you're sitting on. So. There's a lot of secondary impacts that cause. I'd say that's probably most of the time it's a secondary impact that causes the deaths. Whether it be your head striking something outside of the boat or hitting another boat and striking it. So
wow.
And you think 2 jet skis hitting each other. I mean, if you're on a jet ski and another jet ski hits you or a boat hits a jet ski, I mean, you're not protected at all on a jet ski. Your whole body's exposed. So
that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't like motorcycles.
I was just about to say, you think of 2 motorcycles wrecking going 30 miles an hour, it's never good.
No,
and these boats are going 30 miles an hour normally.
You just don't think about wrecks being that bad on the water, but man,
they're not common. They are common, but they're not as common as a road crash or a vehicle crash.
Right.
But when they are, they're not good.
Okay.
You're very low when it's not a fatal. When we get a report of a boat accident and we hear it's not a fatal, it's we either know we're headed to Vanderbilt or Skyline to a level 3 trauma place, or to go do a death notification.
Be careful, guys. Be careful on the water as we finish up the season, because we're going to have some hot days here till Labor Day, and we've just got the potential to have a lot going on. But with school starting, that's going to make a big difference, and people won't be out as much, I think. So because
it'll definitely
going on.
Slow it down. But with that being said, we're not slowing down this year. We have a new push from here going forward that we're still TWRA. We're still Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Right.
But our main focus right now is on boating and boating law enforcement.
Right.
And it's going to stay like that. Even, when we're out checking duck hunters in a boat, we're still going to do a safety inspection on your vessel. If we see you duck hunting out of a vessel, we're still going to stop. And, if your registration's out or if you don't have enough life jackets, that's the big thing we're looking at is life jackets and just safety. Your lights aren't working on your boat, stuff like that, then you're going to get a ticket probably.
Yeah. So very good. And just if you're out there boating, watch out for the ones around you. I mean, that's one of the things I talk to my kiddos at school that are just getting their license and all that about being a defensive driver.
Right.
Because they all know I've spent all these years as a traffic reporter, and I said the most dangerous thing you do is get behind the wheel of that car. And if you don't train yourself to be a defensive driver, you're so much more vulnerable on the roads. Not to mention being safe yourself.
Right.
But being defensive, and that is, if you can be a defensive driver, man, you're going to come out ahead. And anyway, but you got to be a defensive driver on the water too. So what else have you got going on before I know you've got to, because since you were coming back from vacation, you got to get out of here on time. We got Bill Jones coming in, Bill's choice today of what he talks about. So, but what else have you got for us this morning that we need to be aware of?
Let's see. So we're in the middle of boating season, like you said. The official end is Labor Day, so we still got a little ways to go. Be working a lot there. We've got a lot of events coming up. I can't tell you a date on the dove hunt yet. We'll have a dove hunt.
About what time frame is
that's
that season?
It opens September 1st every year.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
So whatever September 1st falls on, that's the opening day. Whether it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter. It opens at noon that day, and that's because the federal U.S. Fish and Wildlife, they give us certain times for migratory birds, whether it's duck or dove, any type of waterfowl. Like they give us these. Like they tell us, hey, you have 90 days to dove hunt. It has to start September 1st at noon, and then you can kind of set it where you go. So like for dove season, a lot of people don't realize it, but we have 3 different dove seasons throughout the year. It starts September 1st, and that's the biggest, really, for dove season in Tennessee. September 1st through the first couple of weeks of September, that's when everybody dove hunts. After that, they kind of just...
It just kind of trickles.
Really, after September 1st and that first weekend, nobody really does it anymore. It's more of a social event nowadays.
Okay.
But we have another one, I think, in October, and then another one in December. And it's one you don't think about. I remember I was off of 49 on Fluellen Road one day, riding around. I saw these guys in the middle of a field with guns, and they didn't have any orange on during deer season. I'm like, oh, man, what are these people doing? So I pull in there and talk to them, and they're just sitting there beside this barn with 2 shotguns. I'm like, what are y'all doing? They're like, we're hunting. I'm like, deer? And they're like, no, man, doves. And I'm like, doves? And I had to play it off like, oh, yeah, of course you are. And I was like, I think it's dove season right now,
Yeah.
Because there's just so much, you don't even think about it sometimes.
Yeah, that's really funny.
It was kind of one of those funny things on me because I was like, I'd forgotten it was dove season even, because it was December, just after Christmas, I think.
Sure.
But, so anyway, yeah, dove season coming up. Well, we got the velvet hunt that'll be before that. Daggone, it's already almost August.
It's it like a week from when's the first is like on Saturday? Yeah.
Yeah, the first is Saturday.
So
I think
we're getting close.
I think the velvet hunt is August 21st through 23rd. Let me look.
It goes fast. It goes fast. Everybody's like, I can't believe summer's over. And I'm like, well, get ready because it's going to be Christmas before you blink. It'll be we'll be right into the holidays again before you hardly take a breath. So once school starts, man, it just flies. I know the kids don't think it, but it sure does. And we've already got sports going. Kids are golfing and getting ready for track or cross country and volleyball and girls soccer and it's crazy.
Football's here.
Football, but we don't have games scheduled yet. I don't know when the first football game will be, but they're practicing. Yeah.
I apologize. It's the week after, so it's August 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Okay. The velvet hunt.
Is the velvet hunt.
Okay.
And so with that being said, too, the biggest thing that's going on in our agency right now is, and it's caused a lot of controversy, and a little bit of so over every year there's a group of people that want to bait deer in Tennessee, right? Mm-hmm. So they want to be able to, essentially, we'll just say corn because that's the number one thing. Mm-hmm. But corn, wheat, soybeans, mainly corn because everybody can just buy it at Walmart. So there's been a push for years, and every year TWRA fights it. So no. And each year it gets very, very hard to keep fighting it. So last year in the state legislature, it got brought up again. TWRA did not, they opposed it in the legislature, but the legislature still passed it. So the legislature said, yep, we're going to allow baiting. But TWRA, you have to set the rules and regulations for it.
Okay.
So you can buy a permit. So TWRA said, okay, if you're going to tell us we have to do this, and that's essentially what happened is we were told, hey, you've got to allow baiting this year moving forward. So we said, okay. But you have to buy a permit. Everybody does. It's $50 for residents. So no matter if it's your property, your buddy's property, whatever, and it's only on private lands. You can't do it on our wildlife management areas, which is our land. So on private lands, you can buy this. It's $50 for residents and $100 for non-residents. Mm-hmm. And just go online. I haven't even looked at the whole thing yet, but there's a lot of stipulations as far as how much you can put out and the size of area it has to be and stuff like that. So you can't just go out and put 500 pounds of corn in the size of this desk, and just pile it up and hunt over it. But it's for everybody that hunts that. So let's say, for example, if I do it and I go buy my permit and I put corn out on this place I'm hunting in front of this deer stand I'm hunting, and then you come and hunt it, well, you got to have that permit too. Because if you're hunting over it and you get caught hunting over it, you don't have the permit, you could still get charged for not having that license.
Okay.
So anybody that hunts over the bait has to have the license, no matter if 10 people are hunting the same deer stand, all 10 people have to have that permit. So if 2 people are hunting together over that same place or both hunting, they both have to have the permit. Everybody has to have the permit that hunts over that. So and again, you'll have to go to our website, tnwildlife.org, or just Google, either tnwildlife.org or just Google TWRA new bait law, and it shows all the stipulations in there. But
because it used to be that you could feed, but then you had to remove it before deer season, right? You could feed and have them in the area.
Yeah, you could.
Then you had to.
You just weren't allowed to hunt over it.
Right.
So, and if you are going to hunt over it, then if it's like corn on the ground, it has to be gone 10 days prior to you hunting it. So let's say that. Just because math is horrible for me, the deer season starts on the 10th, then it has to be gone 10 days prior, so before the 1st.
Okay, so it's still it's not really baiting. Then you don't have feed out while you're hunting.
Well, before now you can if you buy the permit.
Oh,
I'm saying.
Okay.
So if you don't,
can have feed out while you're hunting.
If you have the permit.
If you have the permit. Okay.
If you don't have the permit, the law still stands the same. If you don't want to buy the permit, the bait still has to be gone 10 days prior.
Okay.
Or if it's an electronic feeder, it has to be turned off or disabled 10 days prior.
Okay. What about my pear trees? Because my pear and apple trees.
That's fine. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you talk about, they sure have fun.
Yeah.
Because, that and mulberries. Of course, that's not during deer season. But now pear season and apples and all of that, they're going for it, man.
Oh yeah, we issue a lot of deer depredation permits for that around here, people's fruit trees and stuff.
Well, we don't harvest it, so we don't care. We enjoy it. We've got a mama and twins that are out there just every day.
Yeah.
Just having a big time. And what's so funny is the two babies, you know, you see dogs that get zoomies.
Yeah.
The two little babies got the zoomies out in our front yard. It was the funniest, cutest little thing. These two little deer just, yeah, it was so cute. So, I mean, I enjoy just watching them, and we don't hunt. Everybody says they're going to, but nobody ever comes and hunts on us. Now, what about fishing right now? Because we've been trying to fish the creek, and some of them, I've got a couple of students that have been out there all weekend and coming in late.
Yeah.
And then my grandson caught a bass on the creek last week, but they weren't biting until about 7:00.
Yeah, I mean, just like with us, it's so hot during the day, we don't want to do much during the day, and the fish don't either.
Yeah.
So they kind of do that. They'll go to deeper water because it's cooler down there. They'll go to deeper water, or they'll wait till later in the day to come up and feed on top or something like that. So
it's pretty much if you want to fish, you got to do it late in the day or early in the morning.
Very early or very late.
It's during the heat. We were out there. He wanted to go fishing. We had him for a week, and he wanted to fish. And I was like, yeah, they're not biting.
Go ahead, but
yeah. And so I would just sit in my chair in the shade and let him just go at it.
Swim during the day and fish in the evening. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But
because even on those creeks where they're not very deep, so they can only get so deep in the creek. They can't get 30 or 40 feet down and cool off like you can on a lake. So they'll just conserve. So they may be hungry, but they're going to conserve their energy, and they're going to just sit there in that water and try to stay as cool as they can.
Okay. Well, and fishing's been pretty good if you're out there late. But, but that's the big thing. Yeah. So nonetheless, anything else? So velvet hunt coming up, boating season ending in Labor Day.
Yeah, deer season.
Kaleb has a new job.
But like I said, I'm still here. That was the first thing. My big boss, the lieutenant colonel now, that's over my position. He's like, you're going to be busy, but he's like, because we still, for not just me, but anybody that's law enforcement that moves to an administrative position, we still want them to be out working as much as you can. Yeah. Because we know what it's like to have a supervisor. Not right now, like all of our supervisors are great, but in the past and just how things have gone over the years is you get somebody that moves out of the field, they go to the office, and then it's like they start making these decisions. You're like, well, they don't know what it's like to work the field now because they're not in it anymore, or they've been out of the field they haven't rode a ticket in 10 or 15 years, so they don't know what it's like. So we don't want to be that way. We still want to get out and work. I talked to my old captain that here in our district captain, and he's like, man, you work all you can, please, and I'm still going to get out and help them some on the weekends and boating season when they need help and holidays and stuff. Because like I said, this past weekend, it's like you almost feel guilty not being out there working. It's like, why am I not working? I'm supposed to be working right now, but instead I'm sitting here at the pool watching the NASCAR race, So
I get it,
that was fine with me too. But
well, congratulations! I'm excited for you and your family, and that's going to be nice. That's going to be nice. Yeah. And I see you touting the Reiselman there.
That's
they're real good to you too, aren't they? With that truck that they fair. That's pretty good. That's a slick truck, by the way. We've advertised for them, so we really love them over there.
Try to have it back at the fair this year, but no, Shannon, he's the general manager there, Shannon Broom, and he's one of my good friends, and he's just all the time like, what do you need? When are you going to drive this truck again? I'm like, I don't need it
slick.
Right now.
I mean, it's the one y'all put in the parade, and now you got to remember the fair is going to start on the third Tuesday in September, but the rides are not going to be open on that Tuesday, and I'm just going to mention
really?
Well, because they're going to have. The parade's going to end, and the fair's going to be free admission, and you can come in and see the exhibits and all of that. But because of the carnival not being able to get here in time to get it set up, they're going to still be testing the rides. So the rides will not open until Wednesday.
So they'll just be Wednesday through Saturday?
It'll be Wednesday through Saturday. The fair will be open on Tuesday.
Right.
But the rides will not be. They're still going to be setting them up.
I saw that Trent and them were in here the other day. I didn't get to watch it because we were in Florida. But I saw they were in here, so... Are the games going to be open or anything? Like, can you play the games?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
I can understand the rides. But...
Yeah, I don't know about the games, but they're going to try to have some of the food vendors and all that going too. But you won't pay to get in. It'll be a free admission.
Is there anything?
It'll be a chance. Well, I think there's something going on with livestock that night.
Well, what about the arenas? Is there something going on in the arena? Do you know?
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at it this year.
I forget. But I kind of think that they're I just can't remember. I can't remember if there's something on the arena on Tuesday.
I was just wondering.
But yeah,
I could look it up.
The
Everything's
catalog
online.
will be coming out really soon. But the reason I mention it is because you're so involved in the fair. Y'all are usually there, and you get in the parade with the cool Rosselman truck. You know, so I had to mention that.
It depends on how hot it is. That truck hasn't got air conditioner, and I'm a baby, so.
I love it. That's funny. Well, it's in September, so it's going to be cooler.
It is.
I'm really excited that it's toward the end of September.
No,
I'll
definitely be in the parade. We're going to have our wildlife trailer, our wildlife on wheels trailer there, and
good deal
about that truck or something. That kind of probably similar to next year. Yeah,
it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
I was texting with the fair board the other day, just like, hey, do I have my same spot? How much room do I have? Because that kind of tells me how much stuff I have, or how much room I have, kind of tells me how much stuff I can bring.
Right.
You know, last year I had that electronic bow. So I'll probably bring that back. It's a lot easier and a lot kid friendly. Kids love video games, so that's something that the kids really relate with. So
anyway. And they're building a stage in behind the red building for the main. You know how they have the bands always, and hardly everybody goes because they're over in the so
they're going to put it right there in that grassy area
where they had and they're going to have a food court right there again. So it's going to be up there near where you are. So I think you'll dig it. I think it'll be really neat.
I've been in the white building now.
Oh, you are? Yeah. I thought y'all were out like
it depends. I've been everywhere, but the last couple of years I've been inside the white building down there.
Okay.
So that's where I was last year.
They're reconfiguring some stuff. It's going to be really cool, but they're going to be putting the stage right in behind the red building. Yeah. And then the acoustic's going to be inside the red building where people come in and see the events and stuff. And they're going to have like the little food court area. It's a covered stage. We're going to behind there.
We're going to have to build a bigger building somewhere.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. But what they're doing, but we're just trying to bang the drum that Tuesday night the rides will not be open, but it'll be free admission.
Well, I'm glad you told me. I didn't know that.
Yep. So
I wasn't going to ride them anyway. But.
Anything else that you've got for us? I know Bill's out there, and I know you got to get to the office.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's it. I mean, it's as far as events go, it's kind of a slow time for us right now.
I got you. Yeah.
Because there's just not a lot going on as far as events go. But
finishing up boating season and all that, and going to be back in the high school.
But always go to our website again, tnwildlife.org. All of our major events are posted on there. We put everything on Facebook too, but because people don't realize too, Tia Bray, we do a lot of firearms classes, firearm safety classes, handgun permit classes.
He comes in.
People put that stuff. We put that stuff on all the time. So, BOW is beat like a bow. BOW, becoming an outdoor woman. It's women only, and it's women that don't really get a chance to get out in the wild and go learn how to hunt, fish, and shoot guns. And so they have a whole week for those women or weekends. Well,
that's really cool.
Where they come out to our training academy and they shoot firearms and bows and in the wintertime they have them. They learn how to hunt deer and how to field dress them and how to cut them up and process them on your own and everything. So, but all that stuff's always on our website. So always go to our website and click on our events or outreach and communications. Because there's always something. We got something going on all throughout the state, not just here in Middle Tennessee, but throughout the whole state.
Outstanding.
So anyway.
Well, very good. Cool. I appreciate you coming in on a special day, and we'll see you on the normal time next month.
Yep, I'll be there.
Congratulations. See you later, Kaleb. And while he makes his way out, we're going to talk about our friends, Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty while Bill makes his way in. But we want to remind you to reach out to our friends because they have been our longest running full-time sponsor. We love them a lot. And they're always busy because it is a busy world in the world of real estate, whether you're buying or selling or if you want to be a realtor. And I love what Barry says. If you want to be a realtor, he might just talk you out of it because he says it takes a special person to do the work and to be self-disciplined and do the things you need to do to be successful in real estate. And so they brought Exit Prime Realty into existence a few years ago. They'd been with the Exit team forever because that's the one that Rebecca found that had everything they needed to be successful in real estate when she started. She's been at it a long time, one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. But coming to the table, they will tell you the Exit team will have everything you need. If you want to be a part of their team, like the Hastings, Samuel and Brandy Hastings, also a part of the Exit Prime team. They would love to get you acclimated and get you trained and bring you on. But whether you're buying or selling, whether you are looking for your first home, one of the first things they're going to do is tell you to go and see what you qualify to buy. They don't want you looking until you know how much you can handle for your budget. And they're going to help direct you there. If you've got property that's just not moving, maybe it needs some drone footage, maybe it needs some new photography, a walkthrough tour, all of those things, they can take care of it, all the videography. And if you go to Barry's social media page or website, go to Rebecca's social media or website, you're going to see all kinds of cool stuff there to get you full understanding of what they do and what they can do to help you when it comes to buying and selling your property or being a realtor yourself. You can reach out to them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, robertsoncounty.com. You can give them a call at 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or 7424. But when you do reach out to them, please always let them know that U-Turn sent you. Bill Jones is in the house. We had an open slot, and I just thought, Bill's just not doing nothing. I know he's just
right.
But I thought this is Bill's choice. What would you like to talk about, sir?
Data centers.
Okay. Ooh, okay. That's we've talked a lot about that with Ryan Martin because they've been going through some votes. Well, what they're doing is they're ensuring that they're not vulnerable in any way.
Well,
and there's no plans,
staying on top of it.
Yeah, and there's no plans to bring one in. It's just that they're trying to fix some things to make sure that if it were to ever happen, the regulations are in place to guard our area.
You can't just say no
data
centers because then you're discriminatory.
Right.
Toward the environment and whatever. But anyway, there are positive things about it. And I'm not, let me say off the top, I am not for them at all. But you got to look at it on both sides of the fence and see what we're talking about. When somebody says data center, what do you think about?
Well, I don't really know. I guess because, one of my children works for HCA and is director for cloud distribution. So because of him, I have an idea about it because you think about the cloud, it's not really the cloud. It's got to have a physical. We call it the cloud, but there's this, because he'll talk about something happened at a data center or something, and he's like, I'm covered up because of such and such, or you know what I mean? And so I hear those kinds of things from him, so I know it's a physical thing. It's not just this fictitious cloud.
Things. A data center, we think of the big 10,000, 20,000 square foot building that covers 6 football fields or something like that, or larger. And just like what Elon Musk built down in Memphis, called Colossus 1. He's building a second one called Colossus 2, which is really...
In Memphis or is there just the one in Memphis?
It's in Memphis.
So both of them are going to be, or do you know? Yeah. Oh, really? I didn't know that.
When my first real job was at Pillsbury Company in Indiana, and they had a computer room, and it was, you had to be completely, have a bonnet on and a white suit and everything, so you didn't get any dirt, dust in the computers. And that was their data center. They didn't call it that, but that's what it was. It was a data center. We have the biggest one in town I know of is the Bell Telephone Company out on Cheatham Street. That's a data center. So that's not harming anything.
Right.
But you got to know what we're referring to when we talk about data centers. Mm-hmm. So we'll know, sort of what's going on. But everybody's in an uproar about, I'm against it. I don't want a data center. I don't want them. But you're going to have them somewhere. Mm-hmm. We have the largest number of data centers in the world. Mm-hmm. China has quite a few, but theirs is humongous, really big. Ours can be small or large. Now, let me tell you this. You probably never heard of it or thought of it. They are preparing to send up a lot of satellites that are data centers. You're talking about 1 million. And they have data centers over in Japan that they sink in the water because it cools it. Biggest problem with data centers is cooling their computers. And we have a large flow of data information going through cable on the ocean. Mm-hmm.
I knew that.
Yeah. We never think of this, but you think of all this information flowing out, and if they're doing it through satellite, they're doing through cable, they're doing through whatever, we're moving a lot of information. And then AI has added to the load. AI now is just, I was reading about Elon Musk, Grok, whatever, Grok. Grok.
I use Chat GPT.
Yeah. And he's building data centers just to handle that. I mean, a pretty good amount.
Mm-hmm.
So what I hear people say, well, why, data centers causes pollution. They cause noise pollution as well as air pollution. They cause heat. One data center up on the East Coast is like 50 degrees higher above the data center than it is on the ground because of all the heat generated by, you got to have, some of them use turbines to produce power. Some of them have battery, and a lot of them now have battery backup because they've come out with new batteries that last longer. They have this huge storage of information run by batteries. And back up to that's generators. Those generators either use electricity or natural gas, or some are used methane gas down in Memphis, I think. So somebody said to me all day, well, they ought to generate their own electricity. Well, they do. And it's just so much to this that we really need to be educated on. So we'll know what we're talking about with data centers. Now, you can have moratoriums, which is a temporary thing. And an outright ban probably won't stand up in court. What you have to do is what the city has done, and the county both, I think, is that they're holding off while they develop their requirements for anything. They can't discriminate against data centers. They've got to make it the rules and everything for everybody. And sometimes if you're just thinking strictly of data centers, you block out something else you don't want to. But we have, I think, I read the recent number of like over 5,400 data centers in the United States. China has 400.
Wow.
And I had somebody tell me the other day, he said, well, maybe China is generating all this bad information about data centers because they want us to go down with them so they can come up with them. Whoever controls the data controls the world, just about, and data's got to flow through something. Now, we've heard of the cloud. You just mentioned the cloud a while ago. It's hard to describe because it's a cloud is a server somewhere on somebody's computer.
Well, that's what, my son talks about is, we talk about the cloud, but it's still, it's data center somewhere. It's a server somewhere. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, there is a distinction between the two, cloud and a data center. A data center, or however I don't even know what the correct pronunciation is. I hear both of them.
Yeah.
But our governments, the small towns, big towns, county, state, we all are facing the problem of how to handle this on-surge. And it's just unbelievable the amount that's being built out right now. It's just in Europe, China, wherever. Japan, like I said, dunking it in the water. The problem with data centers, they use a lot of water, and the water is used to cool. You can't use salt water because it'll leave a deposit real quick on their equipment. So it has to be fresh water. They use a lot of electricity, which what happens when this data center is over here and they pumping all this utilities into it, then they've got to build a bigger infrastructure, which is going to cost more, which causes our rates to go up. That has happened, not I think it will happen, but it is happening, and they're finding out these big ones down in Memphis and other places. There's a big one up in Maryland, and just like the ones in Nashville, the people doing this make a lot of money, and there's a lot of moneyed people behind them, so they're very quiet with it. So they pop up all of a sudden. It's almost too late, like in Nashville,
they're
Fisk and by the zoo
and all that.
They'll probably go through because they fit within the guidelines the county or the state is set to follow for any industry. And so here you go. You wonder, you can hold signs and rant and rave all you want to, but you can't be discriminatory toward it and not something else that's similar to it.
Interesting. That's the thing. And when you said you wanted to talk about it, I don't fully understand it myself, because I would almost have to go and see one to go, okay, I see what you're talking about. But when you were talking about that, they're going to launch the satellites. Who is doing that? Is that in America or is that in
American?
China?
Elon Musk.
He's wanting to do all the satellite stuff. You know, and
they're going to do it. They're
going
to do it.
Maybe that's the.
It's
the
so much. I put on Facebook the other day a picture of all the stuff in orbit around the Earth. I don't see how they keep them running into each other.
Yeah, and
it's so much. It's just like a big sea of garbage. Little chunks of stuff all over the place.
Interesting.
And it's going to get more.
Yeah.
How do they keep up with this? I guess they do it with a data center.
I guess. And you wonder, because you feel like that they have some kind of a light or something connected to the satellites, but I guess they don't. But it might obscure
I think they're even planning on the moon and maybe Mars in the future of placing these type of things there. Now, all the time, everything is changing and being improved where they don't use as much power, they don't produce so much pollution. But right now, if you live near a very large data center, you hear a hum all the time. And it bothers you. It'll bother your body. Just this hum all the time. And I'd move, but of course some people couldn't move and don't want to move.
Right.
They just all of a sudden appeared overnight, And so I can understand everybody's upset about it. And some of our state senators are for it. They say Tennessee loves data centers. Well, they said this some time back. I guess they regret saying that. But there are good things about them. They bring in a lot of taxes. And now they're figuring out how to not cause your rate to go up and my rate to go up with a data center nearby. They figured that out to keep that from happening. But that's one of the complaints. The other complaint is noise. Another complaint is pollution, air pollution, noise pollution. And there's very few people that work there. So you're not talking about a great influx of income.
Right. Not a lot of jobs availability.
It's very automated. And I have really been looking into this. I've taken virtual tours of data centers and anybody can do it on the internet. It's amazing. They just, it's like little servers. May have 5,000 of them here that handle one particular thing. So we have caused it because of AI and all our Facebook interactions and all our stuff we look at on the internet goes through data centers.
Wow. What a different, I'm just sitting here thinking how much we have seen, Bill.
Oh, yeah.
And
you're young. You can tell the stuff that's come across your life.
Yeah.
You're young.
But what you've seen, and good land, the changes. Because, when I talk about growing up in the 60s and 70s, I didn't know anything about computers. If we had, fancy
I sold the first
calculators.
computer in Robeson County.
I knew you did. And I tell people that, and they're like, really? And about what time? Do you remember what year that was?
In the 80s.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
I can remember the first computer that my husband and I bought. We were at, and this is, we were doing something with Baptist Hospital because I did a lot of ads for them and remotes for them early on because I was having all these kids and they had this big childbirthing area and all this kind of stuff. So we did a lot with Baptist Hospital in my radio heyday, and we were there for something, and they had a silent auction to benefit. I don't know, something.
Yeah. And
they had this computer, and it was the green screen and all of that. And we bought that computer for our roofing company. And I will never forget it. And I remember, too, being at the radio station when we first got, and this is prior to me marrying, but as early on in my career, they got the first fax machine. And that fax machine was locked in engineering. And you couldn't go in there and mess with that fax machine because
I remember my first one.
Yeah, but the things that we've seen.
You remember the first cell phone?
Well, yeah,
it's not too far back.
I had a big bag cell phone that they would send me out.
Fit on the hump of the car, with a phone on it.
Yeah, and it's just it's fascinating, and to see where we've gone to, and I pushed back really hard on a smartphone because I didn't get one. And when I went to work at the Blaze down in Texas, my brother, he says, I was still using a little flip phone. He's like, you cannot go down there and not have a smartphone. Right. You've got to have a smartphone. And he just pushed. And I finally got one, but I didn't know how to use it. And I got into, when I pulled in to try to find out where I was going to be living during the week and all this kind of stuff and trying to get acclimated, I didn't know they had the GPS things on here. And I was calling my son, one of my boys, the one that works with the cloud. He's like, Mother, listen to me. And he was walking me through how to put things in, addresses in, because I was panicked. I was like, I don't know where anything is.
You do. You get mad even.
Yeah. And he talked me down. He's like, Mother, listen to me. And so he got me going, and I was like, oh. And I just remember it so well. And he's like, finally, because he was in college.
I have to call my grandson. He's a computer engineer.
Yeah.
And I have to call him. How do you do this? And he showed me one time a while back that he was going to meet me at a restaurant in Nashville. And he showed me how to track him. And he said, I'll be there, it says, in 9 minutes, And I looked at his car. Here it goes, I thought, this is amazing.
It's crazy, isn't it, Bill?
And I don't even know if I can be tracked. I suppose I can.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to turn it on. You got to enable it. And I'm one of these, I don't turn notifications on or anything on my phone.
One of the, I was reading this morning, and one of the biggest crimes, I guess, of things people do is look at other people's phones, especially spouses. The wives don't look at the husbands the other way around. Wives look at husbands more than the husbands look at the wives. But when you're doing that, you're invading their property. But I don't know, is there a law against it? I don't know. There is a law against recording, voice recording.
Sure.
But there's not a law about video recording. Like they have these glasses now, Ray-Ban has them, that has cameras on them, and they have a little light in a quarter. All you have to do is put a little magic marker put over it. You can't see the light. It's very small anyway. Yeah. But people are invading public places legally with the glasses, and they're recording everything or just sending it straight to Facebook or something, That is so different that we are living in now. And people my age are sitting back eating bananas and watching Oprah and not paying attention,
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, here it is in our face, and we get angry because we don't understand it. Mm-hmm. And people just feel very frustrated because it's changing every day. Yeah. Instead of, I learned I can do this. Well, people were doing that 10 years ago. Lee Marie had a class. Somebody was teaching a class about your cell iPhone, cell phones. I would have liked to gone to it. I just couldn't. Yeah. But we really need that. And I think they do some of that at the senior citizens, but they don't really want to know.
Well, I've got Tiffany Thompson coming in. She's our new director with the senior center.
Yeah, and she's really good.
Yeah, and so she's coming in, and I think she's coming in tomorrow, and then I've got Ken Dooley coming in, I think, on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. If I may have them backwards, but she's going to come in and talk all about the senior center and different things, and she's coming in tomorrow. But I'll ask her about that and see if they have some technology classes. I feel like they do. But there's just all kinds of things that happen at the senior
One time, years ago, I gave a program at the senior citizens, and it was about your ID security, about not giving people your social security number and your name and address and blah, blah, blah. So I was talking up there, and I said, I'm going to give away a prize. At the end, I'm giving $100. And what I want you to do is just fill out a piece of paper and put your name on your address and phone number and your social security number. Well, sir, I thought we weren't supposed to. I said, well, you know me. I'm not going to use it. Okay. Well, they did it. And I said at the end, I don't have $100 to give away. I'm just showing you how easy it is to fool you to doing this. And it's so much more sophisticated now. I think I've seen it all, and then something new pops up. Facebook is full of them. I would not buy anything off of Facebook for anything. It's just
a lot of scamming.
There's a lot of scamming going on. I was at Cracker Barrel the other morning, Wednesday morning. On their phone back behind the counter had scam written on the receiver part. I asked the girl, I said, what's that on there for? She said, it's just to remind us we get them every day. They'll call, want to know if such and such is working today, and we cannot tell them that. And so we're just so sensitive to it because we get them constantly. And I do too on my phone. I get stuff. I got 4 texts on my phone, I got to erase. I usually, block the number and all that stuff, but they just change numbers.
Mm-hmm. I thought that I couldn't get scammed, and I got scammed pretty good. Somebody impersonating my principal. Took me, good land.
Really?
That came through. I got an email through my school email. And
wow.
Oh yeah, this was last summer. And it was unbelievable. Unbelievable how they pulled me in. And I was like, oh, that would never happen to me. Don't ever say never.
I had it happen to me.
No
I didn't
idea.
think I could get scammed.
Yeah, me either, but I did. And, fortunately it wasn't devastating, but it wasn't fun, it cost me a little bit.
Most people don't want to tell you they got scammed.
Well, and I was super honest about it because I want to warn people. And I just want, it can happen to you. If you think it can't, you need to get off your high horse and realize it absolutely can. Let me do my break for Valor Mortgage, and then we'll wrap it up. But interesting conversation with Bill Jones today, and he'll be back in a couple of weeks for our History Monday. But this was just Bill's choice today. I just thought it'd be kind of fun. But if you're buying a home, guys, this is something I mentioned a while ago, that it's the first thing you got to do when it comes. If you're going to, I'm going to be a first time homeowner, how much can you qualify for? That is a phone call you need to make, and you need to make it to a local lender so you're not just a number and getting scammed and spammed and all the things. Because when you call these 1-800 numbers, that is what happens. They got your number and they're going to wear you out. But you can call locally, Chris Armtrout and the experienced loan officers at Valor Mortgage, to find out just what you can qualify for. With a simple phone call, 615-671-9178, 615-671-9178, or go to valor.mortgage, valor.mortgage, get pre-approved today. And whether it's you're going to buy your first home, maybe you're just wanting to upgrade, maybe you're just wanting to do a refi and see if you can get a better rate, or maybe it's an investment. My kid he has access to VA loans. He bought another home and is renting the home that they were in. That's a good investment for your future. If you want to be a landlord, well, you can do those kinds of things. And they can work with VA loans, FHA loan options, conventional and jumbo financing, all the tools you need to get to the closing table for the biggest decision that you're ever going to make. So reach out to them today. They want to make home ownership possible for everyone. And you can always, of course, buy with confidence when you buy with Valor. Getting a lender you can trust, it matters a lot. 615-671-9178, 615-671-9178, or go to valor.mortgage, valor.mortgage, get pre-approved today. Valor Mortgage, NMLS 1210804, DBA of Encore Lending Group, NMLS 1249911, equal housing lender, subject to credit approval, rates and terms subject to change without notice, not a commitment to lend, and as always, be sure and let them know U-Turn sent you. One more thing I want to mention about Barry and Rebecca Richards. This is something that they've got a historic property that is super, super cool that's in Sumner County. And it is one of the buildings that was part of the Oak Grove School in 1925 that's now for sale. But it was they had built 7 schools for African-American students, and one of the buildings is for sale. Isn't that cool? Wouldn't that be a cool property to have? And he's got... Go to his, all of a sudden it went to the video. He's got this cool video up of it, and what a cool, some people just really love historic properties. That's a neat
very
one.
Unusual.
Yeah, isn't that cool? But anyway, and I failed to mention that during their ad, and I had intended to. So, I'm sorry. What is going on? Everything's going crazy here, Bill. What else you got for us, brother?
Well, right now there's 61 data centers either in operation or being under construction in Tennessee.
61.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Wow.
You think it's just around here? No, it's all over the state.
Word.
And they're going to have to be. We're going to have them one way or the other.
Okay.
So you might as well look at it in a positive way and see how it can be worked out, as well as the negative way, because the negatives are gradually being worked out. Now, I'm not for data, so I'm not. No,
but it's just a reality.
It's just the research on it.
It's the reality of it all.
Yeah, and there's one thing they have called hyperscalers, and that's a data center that can expand easily. It gets larger and larger. It's hyperscaling.
Okay.
You'll hear that word a lot talking about data centers. But anyway, that's we did a lot in 30 minutes.
Well, and I'll tell you, the big thing with data centers here in Roberts County is find the land, because there's not any. It's hard to find land to do this kind of stuff. because I would think it would have to be
A lot of places they're finding farmland.
Yeah.
And then others, like in Memphis, they found a depressed area.
Yeah.
And the government, the state government and all are giving them spiffs to build these things. That's what they have done in the past. Give them tax breaks, TIFs, tax incremental financing, and all, they're getting that. And
interesting.
They're very quiet about it under the under the wire. You don't don't know about it until it's already done.
Right. Well, and I'll tell you, you're going to be sitting in the county commissioner seat, and you'll be hearing all about all these details very soon.
I already am.
When do you take office?
Next September.
In September.
Yeah.
You've been going to the meetings, though, right?
Yeah, I've been going for the last 5 months.
Okay, good deal. Well, congratulations on that county commissioner. We're not official yet, but
I'm not
close.
It makes me nervous because I got to get up to snuff on this thing because I study all the time.
Yeah, I think
but
you're
there's
going to
some
do just
questions
fine.
you just don't know. What do we do here? The back and forth. Everything has a reaction to the action. So.
Well, he's my county commissioner, and I'm proud because I know he's going to be working hard and really putting in the time that's required to make sure you're making the right decisions. So thank you for coming in, Bill, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Talk what I want to talk about.
Anytime. Yes, absolutely. It's always fun. So thank you guys for joining us. Tiffany Thompson's our guest tomorrow to talk about all the things she's involved in. Senior Center Primary right now. That's her job. She is the director of our Senior Center, but she's involved in so many nonprofits. We're going to spend some time with her and just kind of catch up. We missed our visit with her last month. So we're going to catch up with her, and I hope you'll be a part of it. And I want to just put it on your calendar to be here. If you have any questions about health insurance, especially if you're in your 60s and you're going to have to do Medicare, Medicaid, whatever it's called, I got a lot of questions. My friend Ken Dooley, I've known him forever. We've gone to church for years and years, but he lives up in White House. And he's going to be in here to answer those questions on Wednesday. We got an extra show, and so we're going to spend some time with him, and I think it's going to be very informative, and I hope you'll be here. Thank you for joining us. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day.
From a throne to a manger, to a cross, to a grave, but always with a reason why this traveler couldn't